Okay, let's do this. Today has been a bad day, so I decided I wanted to make this video. I wish this was wine. I'm kidding. A little bit. This is a video I've wanted to make for so long and I didn't know how to go about it, and everything keeps going wrong today, and it's because it's a wonky day. It's a wonky day. Hi, it's Scola and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be talking about why for the majority of last year and the beginning of this year I was crying almost every day. I've tried to film this video once before and I felt like I didn't really get the right message across, or I didn't like the feel of it. So I was like, I'm gonna do it again at some point, and I keep talking about it in other videos. So I was like, okay, Scola, just film it right now because I've had a wonky day. And if you don't know what a wonky day is, it's where you just feel claustrophobic. You feel claustrophobic, you feel like nothing's going right, you wake up in a bad mood, and it's not because of anything. Like, in fact, your life could be going absolutely amazingly like my life is now, but you'll just wake up feeling like everything is terrible and everything is crap, basically. And so today was a wonky day and I really did try to fight against it, but it's really trying to fight against me. So I thought I'd talk about it and let you guys know what was going on in my life, because I feel like I really did keep this from you guys and it wasn't purposeful at all. I just thought it would be for the best, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's better to share it, because to be honest with you, YouTubers get a lot of flack for talking about this kind of thing, but I think it's so important because it makes people feel less alone, and I feel like it really does help. At least it helps me. So basically, long story short, I was depressed for much of last year and the beginning of this year. And I'm pretty sure I'm no longer depressed. I definitely have down days, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So I'm going to try to keep this story as short as possible because honestly this could be the longest story, but I'm trying to condense it into something that makes sense. And every time I try to think of this story, it just all gets jumbled up because it was a very jumbled up, confusing time. But I'd say this started at the beginning of last year. I just qualified as a personal trainer and I just noticed that my mood had really started to go down. But like, I would say 2 years prior to that, I did notice that I was a watered down version of Scola, and that's the best way I can explain it. It's like just slowly but surely I started losing myself, and I just thought it was a part of growing up. Maybe I just wasn't going to be as happy and as bubbly and as optimistic as I used to be, and I just thought maybe I'm losing that, and I just went with it and just tried to fake it until I made it, basically. So you guys might have not noticed it in videos, but I definitely felt it, and people around me never noticed it. Like, I think one thing that does make me happy is that people always associate me with being happy and being optimistic. Like, people always like, Scola, how are you always so positive? And honestly, I'm faking it a lot of the time. Not a lot of the time. Now I'm not, at least I can say that, but for a time I really was. So I'd say I noticed a big difference last year, at the beginning of last year, when I started my gym job. I was supposedly in my dream job, but I just felt really down, and I just felt so down about myself, and I had no idea why. I was doing something I loved and I thought I was, but I was just going through the motions day in, day out, waking up, going to the gym, training clients, coming home, waking up, going to the gym, training clients, going home, and so on. And I just wasn't happy with the routine at all, and it got to a point where I got so unhappy when my family was like, Scola, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, why are you going to this place if you are unhappy? Like, just quit. I think part of it was that gym, there were some very negative people, and I think it just wasn't good for the headspace that I was in at the time. So it was just best for me to quit and leave that place. And to be honest, I felt really great for a time after that. Like, once I made that decision, I just felt 10 times more positive. So I did feel really great for a while after that, and it was really lucky that straight after I quit I was actually going on holiday. So I went to Morocco and it was so good. Like, I felt the happiest I'd been in 6 months. Because we went during like the summertime, and I'm sure you could tell from the pictures and everything. If you've seen pictures from Morocco on my Instagram, I looked pretty happy, and I think I even vlogged it on my vlog channel, which I'll leave a link to that down below. Cheeky little plug. I just felt really good, but at the same time I still didn't feel as good as I think I should have, because I was on holiday and I was relaxing, but it felt like something was always missing. That's what I felt like. Once I got back from Morocco, I was still training clients, but just like outdoors and like one-off people, and then I was just making videos, and I was pretty happy with that. Also, I had another job as well, but like that wasn't like a part of the equation. As winter started to roll around, I just started feeling so wonky. I like to use that word because I feel like it's the best word to describe how I felt. I just felt so wonky and it was getting worse. And during the summer I'd been to the doctor a few times, and one of the reasons I'd been to the doctors was because I was feeling low, and I did tell them about it. They had suggested a few options, but because they were already doing blood tests and tests for something else, they kind of said, hang on a bit until we find out what's wrong with you, and then we'll just figure things out. But it was so horrible. Like the waiting, I had to wait over 6 months to find out what was wrong with me, and those are the worst 6 months of my life because things just got worse, especially because it was winter time. Winter is such a bad time because the weather just really does affect me, as it does a lot of people. I just remember I would cry almost every day. I'd wake up and I'd cry, I'd go to sleep and I'd cry, not in my sleep. I'd cry before I went to sleep basically. And I was just crying all the time and I had no reason to. My life was okay. I was pretty content with everything. There was nothing to cause so much sadness in my life, but I was just so sad and I was just crying so much. And I remember the lowest point in my life was on Christmas Day last year. It just makes me really sad that I had to go through this, so it's making me a bit sad talking about it. But I remember last year on Christmas Day, I was in my room and I burst into tears and I just started crying and I had no idea why. I just kept crying and I couldn't stop, and I felt so unlike myself and it felt so horrible. Like it felt like there was like, the only way I could think of it is like, imagine like water and someone dropping like black ink in water, and just this black ink is slowly like spreading throughout the water and just turning all of the water black. That's how my soul felt, that's how my mind felt. Like just slowly but surely everything was just being taken out of me and I just didn't feel like myself anymore, and it was a horrible feeling. I didn't go through this alone. I tried to be as open as possible. I spoke to my sister a lot about it, and my sister's wonderful, as you guys know. She's like my best friend and she was really there for me, but she was worried. She didn't know what to do. She was like, what do you want me to do? And my sister's a fixer and she tries to fix things and she didn't know how to fix it, and I felt really bad because she didn't know what to do and I didn't know what to do either. And I remember even telling my dad, I just told my dad, I was like, look, Dad, I think I'm depressed. I think there's something wrong with me, because I wasn't afraid to talk about it because I knew it wasn't me. It was like I felt detached from this feeling of sadness. Like it felt like there was a slight gap in there because I was like, this isn't me. Why is this happening to me? And I was so terrified because I didn't want it to get worse, because it started getting worse and my thoughts started getting darker and darker, and I was like, this isn't me. I've never felt so unlike myself in my whole entire life, and it was horrible. But I carried on trying to talk to people, and I think that's what really helped me, is that I spoke to my sister, I spoke to my dad, and then eventually I spoke to my mom as well, and I was like, I don't know why I'm so sad. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong with me. It was such a horrible time, and I didn't even know I drank enough water to cry that much. To be honest with you, like honestly. And then January came around, and at the end of January I finally found out what was wrong with me. And basically, long story short, I had hypothyroidism, which is something I've spoken about on my channel quite a bit, and I've just spoken about it in different ways, like in the aspect that it causes you to gain weight, but that's like a different story. But that didn't help my mood either, because I was gaining weight, which isn't great for me and what I do. But basically, hypothyroidism affects you in so many different ways, and it's very common. Don't think that this is like a new thing. I know a lot of people haven't heard of it, but it is very common, and it affects like women mainly. Like men can get it too, but mainly women get it quite a lot. And also I was extremely deficient in vitamin D, which is strange because I had a boyfriend, so I don't know why. I'm kidding! Joke. I'm pure. What's nakedness? I've never been naked. I don't even know what naked is. I was kidding. Sorry, I just thought some light humor would just ease the tension. Yeah, so yeah, I had vitamin D deficiency as well. So the two paired together were really bad, because if you're deficient in vitamin D, it affects your mood a whole lot as well and can really get you down. But mine was really bad. The doctor was like, yo dude, how are you surviving? You have no D whatsoever. And I was like, mate, do you want to offer me some right now? I'm sorry, I need to stop making vitamin D jokes, I'm sorry. Yeah, I finally found out what was wrong with me at the end of January, and then I started taking medication for it every day, which you've probably seen in the background of videos a few times. I keep it by my bedside table, but I've been taking that every day since the beginning of the year, and you have to take it every day for the rest of your life. I know a lot of people have recommended, Scola, you should try changing your diet to more of a plant-based one. I'm like, I'm already doing that. Basically, anyway, just long story short, it's not a condition you can fix by diet or exercise or anything. That all definitely helps and can definitely contribute, but you can't ever stop taking the medication. Like, you have to take it for the rest of your life, because basically hypothyroidism is you have a thyroid gland in your neck that regulates your hormones and stuff like that, and if it's broken, either it doesn't produce enough or it produces too little. So I think the one I have, it produces too little. So I feel very lucky and blessed that it's something that's so easy for me to manage, in terms of I just have to make sure I take my medication every day. I make sure I work out every day. Not every day, but I exercise regularly. I eat healthy, and for the most part I can function normally. But I have to say, I've never felt 100% like myself again. Like, I still don't feel like myself. I still have these wonky days, and it's definitely gotten worse during this winter season, which is really worrying me and annoying, because this is like, right now has been one of the best times in my life, and one of like so many amazing things have been happening in my life, and it's really annoying that I can't feel them with my whole heart. Like, that's what it feels like. There's this block that doesn't let me feel it with my whole heart some days. Like, some days I'm feeling it and I feel amazing and life is amazing and I feel fulfilled, and some days there's this block and I can't feel with my whole heart, and I hate it. And I'm trying to get through it, and I'm trying to figure out ways I can get past it, and it's going to be a journey and it's going to be a mission. And I know a lot of it was to do with my hypothyroidism, but then because it was happening for so long, some of it became a habit, and the way my mind is just set and is thinking now. And I just don't know, it just feels really weird where you just have days where you just feel like nothing's happening even though everything is amazing. And it's the most horrible thing to have your mind do that to you, because I know what it's like to live through horrible traumatic things that I could never even tell some of you guys, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, it's not because I'm trying to hide it, just I don't know, there might be a time and place for me to tell you one day, but for now I can't tell you some of the horrible things I've been through. And so as soon as things start going good, I want to be able to appreciate them and appreciate how horrible things used to be and how great things are now. And then now my mind is stopping me from enjoying that. It feels like a kick in the butt, like, to be honest with you, and it's annoying, but I'm gonna keep fighting through it, because I want to be able to enjoy life. I want to be able to be happy. I want to be able to be me again. So yeah, that's my story, and I hope it's helped some of you guys just feel normal about how you feel. But also, just the moral of the story is that you should always talk to somebody if you're going through anything. Talk about your feelings, talk to somebody, just let it out and stay positive, because it will get better. It took so long for me to figure out what's wrong with me. This is actually a problem I've had since like 2010, my hypothyroidism. It didn't really get diagnosed until recently, because that's when it started getting worse and the symptoms actually showed up enough for me to get them investigated, if that makes sense. So I'm really happy that I know what's wrong with me now. And I mean, not every day is great. There's definitely days where it's a bit of a struggle, but I'm getting there and I'm starting to feel more and more like myself. But today was one of those days where I didn't feel like myself, and I felt very wonky, and I felt like I didn't feel good about myself. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that's the reality of life sometimes, but you shouldn't let things get you down, basically. I think I should stop talking because I've already been talking for a really long time. But anyway, guys, I guess it'd be really lovely if you guys could comment down below your favorite positive quotes, something that gets you through things, makes you feel happy, or if it's not a quote, if it's a thing or something that just makes you happy. I'd love to know what it is, because I think it'll make me smile today because I'm feeling wonky, and maybe it'll make me feel less wonky, and maybe it'll make other people feel less wonky as well, and my hair doesn't look cute when I tuck it in like that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay luscious, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.